Good morning, dear students. How are you all? Dear students, today we are going to start chapter 8 in civics, that is confronting marginalization. So, dear students, what is the comforting marginalization? So, dear students, first we will go through the role of the government in protecting the marginalized. Dear students, in a democracy, our country is also a democratic country. So, in a democracy, the government plays an important role in ensuring social justice. The constitution has been written. Okay, tell me who has written the constitution? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, okay, and many other leaders, but he is the main. So, the constitution has been written in such a manner that it guarantees equal rights for everyone, but sometimes these rights are violated by people in power. The government introduced several schemes, policies and laws to protect the rights of minorities from being violated. So, dear students, some of the steps are taken by the government to protect the rights of minorities are, here is a picture, scheme for promoting education for girls. The scheme introduced to promote the education of the girl child in government schools, free or subsidized hostels for students from the Dalit and Adivasis communities, reservation of seats in colleges and universities for students who belong to marginalized groups. Article 17 of the Constitution states that untouchability has been abolished. Article 15 of the Constitution states that no citizen of India shall be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Now, what was the Scheduled Caste and the Scheduled Tribes Act 1989? The Scheduled Caste and the Scheduled Tribes Act 1989 was introduced to protect Dalits and Adivasis against the domination and violence of the powerful caste. Dear students, the 1989 Act is important for another reason also, that Adivasis activists refer to it to defend their right to occupy land that was traditionally theirs. As you have read in previous chapter also, I have told you also that Adivasis are often unwilling to move from their land and are forcibly displaced. Activists have asked that those who have forcibly encroached upon tribal lands should be punished under this law. They have also pointed to the fact that this act merely confirms what has already been promised to tribal people in the Constitution, that land belonging to tribal people cannot be sold or bought by non-tribal people. In case where this has happened, the Constitution guarantees the right of tribal people to repossess their land. So, dear students, here is C.K. Janu, an Adivasi activist has also pointed out that one of the violators of constitutional rights guaranteed to tribal people are governments in the various states of India, for it is they who allow non-tribal encroachers in the form of timber merchants, paper mill, etc. to exploit tribal land and to forcibly evict tribal people from their traditional forest, and in the process of declaring forest as reserved or as sanctuaries. So, she has also noted, C.K. Janu was a female, she has also noted that in case where tribals have already been evicted and cannot go back to their lands, they must be compensated. That is, the government must draw up plans and policies for them to live and work elsewhere. And after all, governments spend large sums of money on building industrial or the other projects on land taken from tribal. So why should they be reluctant to spend even very modest amount on rehabilitating the displaced? So during 1970s and 1980s, what happened? Adivasis people came together to demand equal rights and for the return of their land and resources. After that, Dalit groups refused to perform the caste duties assigned to them and insisted on being treated equally. These groups demanded the government create new laws and prescribe punishment to those who do not follow them. So dear student, this led to the passing of the Scheduled Caste and the Scheduled Tribes Act 1989. Then what did the act include? The act contains a long list of crimes against the scheduled caste peoples and the scheduled tribes. So what happened in this? Forcing a member of the scheduled caste or scheduled tribe to eat or drink any inedible or nauseous substance, committing any act that would be derogatory to human dignity. For example, parading a person naked with a painted face or body. Wrongly occupy or cultivate any land that belongs to a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe person. Assault or use force on any woman belonging to a scheduled caste or scheduled tribes. After this, why did the act include these objectives? Because it helps clearly state that all the crimes committed against these groups are due to their caste. It generates awareness. These lists lets people know what horrible action were taken by human beings against members of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. This act also seeks to punish those who commit any of these atrocities against the people. Atrocities means cruel or violent act. So, to belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and also provides information which influences the way we think and act. So dear children, what we have learnt in this chapter, the existence of a right or a law or even a policy on paper does not mean that it exists in reality. People have had to constantly work on or make efforts to translate these into principles that guide the actions of their fellow citizens or even their leaders. The desire for equality, dignity and respect is not new. It has existed in different forms throughout our history, as you have seen in this chapter also. So dear students, similarly, even in a democratic society, similar processes of struggle, of writing, of negotiation and organizing needs to continue. So dear students, revise these chapter, these all the topics. Have a good day. Thank you.